Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. Right before you is a man who needs no introduction. You know, Ye. And Ye has been making a lot of news these past couple of months. But what we're going to touch on today, we're going to touch on some very troubling and serious allegations in which Ye has made himself regarding his beloved mother, Donda.
That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah, I'm appreciate
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth $400 million.
Okay, so you heard that. So Ye believes that his mother has been sacrificed. And with that being said, from Ye, we're going to divulge into that. However, this can only go in two directions. Either she was or either she wasn't. And Ye needs to be very careful with these accusations. The reason being is because if she was sacrificed, by whom and what for? And let me just tell you one thing about these particular accusations that people make and they insist that are true. Actually, they are true. And you don't have to convince me about that. I'm not a skeptic. And the reason why is because many of you who have been following me long enough know that I did a video about Will Smith obeying his masters and the whole ceremony that was at the Oscars. That was a sacrifice, but it did not involve death. And many of the sacrifices to achieve fame, fortune, immortality, they do involve death. So in Donda's case, if she was sacrificed, the question would be who orchestrated it and who okayed it? And the most likely source would be Ye himself. Let me tell you the reason why. And by the way, I'm not saying she was, but I'm going to give you a reason why. Because for you to reach a billionaire status in the entertainment industry, and sometimes within these elite circles worldwide, there are certain things in which you must do. There are certain organizations in which you must join. There are certain initiations in which you must go through. There are certain sacrifices in which you must approve of. So this does not make him look bad. So the most likely source, if Donda was sacrificed, would have been for his benefit. Now let me say this much. A lot of times when people get involved in this, they think that, oh, it's not really that deep, it's not that heavy. They really won't go through with it. But in some cases, they do. So with Ye becoming a billionaire, reaching the upper echelons of the fashion industry, becoming 1% of the world's population before the billions was taken away, with those elite circles, it seems to me that he must have agreed that his mother be sacrificed. But perhaps he did not think or wasn't wise enough or wasn't careful enough to know that these things are very real and very dangerous. And it's not something that you play with. So maybe he bit off more than what he can chew. However, I don't believe that. I do not believe that's what happened at all. I told you there are two angles to this. Either it's going to be that one, If she was sacrificed, it is because of him. And maybe that's one of the reasons why, after her death, he was never the same again. Something switch kind of went off, it never did come back on. It threw him into a descent of delusion and random thoughts where he just randomly speak things. Sometimes they can be very sensical, sometimes they can be nonsensical. However, let me just tell you the angle that I believe would happen. I do not believe that Donda was sacrificed. I believe that what happened with Donda was a case. Well, we'll go along with it. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. Okay, this is Dr. Jan Adams. Adams gave Donda West liposuction, a tummy tuck, and a breast reduction in November 2007, but she died the following day after reporting pain and tightness in her chest. A coroner found no evidence of a surgical. Okay, the coroner found no evidence of surgical malfunction. But anyway, did you see this right here? She had all of these procedures done in one day. And by the way, she was advised not to go home. She was advised to stay over, but she went home anyway. Let's go farther. We're going to unravel this puzzle. With the scrutiny of the media on her now famous son and her by proxy of acting as his manager, she thought she would have the procedure done and feel better about her body, now that she was essentially a public figure and a focus of the paparazzi. So basically, she had a procedure done to feel better about her body. But the thing is that Donda was not overweight. There was nothing wrong with her pretty much physically if you were to look at her. And she was pretty much a normal size for a woman of her age. Let's go farther. Dr. Adams failed to perform a physical determine whether or not his patient was healthy enough to have the procedure done in the first place. If he had done so, it's possible Donda would still be alive. Dr. John Adams, who I'm familiar with, by the way, did not perform any type of routine procedures to see if she was a good candidate. Had he would have, he would have found out that Donda was not a good candidate, that she had too many underlying issues going on that was affecting her for a long time. Let's move on. However, Adams was not the first surgeon West consulted. In fact, she had met earlier with an unnamed surgeon who actually refused to operate on Dr. West after it was determined that West was at risk of a heart attack, according to the LA Times. Donda had many underlying issues that made her a very poor candidate to undergo these procedures. Dr. West suffered from chronic health problems such as high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and cardiac artery blockage. And it goes on. There you go, right then and there. Donda West, I do not believe, was sacrificed. Donda West was a victim of her own vanity. I don't mean to be mean about this. And having procedures done that she really didn't need. That was really unnecessary. She was not an obese woman. And basically, it was done because she was now her son's manager, and she felt that by that close, being with a superstar, that she's going to now be photographed because she herself is a celebrity. And I do remember seeing her on a talk show with Kanye. So this is the reason why she chose to have these dangerous procedures done and multiple surgeries done in one day. I don't believe that Donda was sacrificed at all. And Kanye named all these people. He named Bill Cosby. He named Dr. Dre, other people. Here's the thing. People in and out of Hollywood, movie stars, non-movie stars, actors, singers, just regular folks, people die. Death is an everyday occurrence. Death is a guarantee among all of us. Yes, there's going to be some sacrifices that are going to be made there. But the vast majority of people are not going to be sacrificed. They're going to die natural deaths. Some are going to die in accidental deaths. But people are going to die. And the vast majority of Hollywood actors, entertainment people, they do make it to be senior citizens. They make it into old age. The Donda West that you hear about are the young stars like who die of drug overdoses. If you were to compare that to people who do not, you would clearly see that the ones who die earlier deaths are in the minority. So with this with Kanye West, let me just tell you what's going on right here. Because I can relate to a degree because I had a friend of mine whose mother passed at when he was young, and he harbored and carried this hate. Well, let me not say hate, this anger and resentment towards women. And Kanye West, you can tell he's bitter, he's angry. So what my friend done was that his anger was at his mother because she left him, she deserted him, and he felt that anger as to why. However, Kanye West is using the sacrificial way out. Because not, he would turn the anger towards his mother. So he's putting the blame not on his mother for making this foolish decision that she just did not need. I don't mean to be mean, but it was a procedure that she did not need. It was unnecessary. That was very much preventable. So in order not to be angry at his mother, in my opinion, he's putting the blame on her being sacrificed, on someone taking her out, on some type of evil deal that's being made. So the blame is going to someone else other than Donda herself, because no one dragged her to that table to be have those procedures done. No one forced her to have those many surgeries done in that particular day. It was through her own volition, her own decisions that she made. However, Kanye West does not want to go that route. He does not want to blame his mother. You don't really have to blame her. I mean, she made a decision that was just unfortunate, that caused you a lot of pain, and still to this very day, he has not gotten over it. So to help him deal with it, he's blaming some other entity, somehow that she was sacrificed, that she was taken away. Because he knows that happens in Hollywood. He knows that happens in the upper echelon of the elites. So somehow he's thinking that this is the result of my mother dying. This is what I believe. So it's just a case point situation that a young man who is grieving, who does not know how to properly grieve, and it seems to me that he has not gotten the help that he needs. It seems like like he was medicated, but meds are not going to help you. I mean, they can dull feelings and emotions temporarily, but he needs long-term therapy, not meds. So all of this business about her being sacrificed, putting that out there in the media and naming other people, what is the trauma that you're causing Bill Cosby? What is the trauma that you're causing Dr. Dre, Michael Jordan, by claiming that their parents or loved ones were sacrificed? What if they wasn't? What if it was just an unfortunate thing with Michael Jordan's father just being robbed? That happens to people. Other people dying of accidental deaths. And you're putting that out there like that. You're grieving, you're hurting, you're in turmoil, but yet you're bringing other people into it. I don't think all this name dropping is good or beneficial for anyone. It seems like to me that once again, this is a case point and situation that he's trying to dull the pain, in my opinion, by wanting other people, I don't know, to come into his party, to come into his camp in a way. It happened to me, it happened to them, it happened to him, it happened to him. He doesn't really know that. So, one last thing too. Let me say this over again. If it was a sacrifice, if it was, then Kanye is implicating himself. If Donda was sacrificed, it is because of him. Because he gave the go-ahead, he agreed with it. So he should be very careful with that. However, I do not believe that she was sacrificed. I truly believe that it was the result of too many underlying issues that were chronic that she had, that she just was not a good candidate for multiple surgeries in one day. And she wasn't even a good candidate for one surgery with all those underlying conditions. So therefore, that is my take on the whole Donda West thing. Hopefully Kanye will get the help that he needs. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you all beyond and through.